Hello, how are we? No, thank you. Just kidding. But are you just kidding? Here we are, Tuesday afternoon live stream. Hope you're all well. Don't know where you're watching from. Where you at, Bisping? I'm at home. What do you think? I'm in the YouTube studio. How we doing, Austin Gallagher? Tom, the True Geordie. Is True Geordie on the Let's BYM? Yes, that's right. If you haven't seen it, on yesterday's episode of the Believe in Me podcast, I had on the True Geordie, Brian Davis, great guy, great podcaster, great YouTube personality. And yeah, we had a great episode. So Believe in Me podcast, give that a search. Go check it out. Go give it a watch. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. It's that time of year, isn't it? Hold on. Sorry. I feel like I've got something in my eye. I have got something in my eye. I've got an eye in my eye, but sometimes it hurts. The fake eye. Sometimes you get like like an eyelash underneath it, and it bloody stings. It hurts like hell. When I say it's that time of the year, I don't mean Christmas. I don't mean that. I mean it's the end of the year, and it's where all these conversations start, isn't it? Where they talk about the best fighter of the year, the best fight of the year, submission of the year, knockout of the year, and all that good stuff. More people saying get Jesse on fire on. I will do. I'll do a live with Jesse on fire. We'll get him on. We'll get him on at the same time. You can ask some questions. But yeah, it's coming up to fight of the year, fighter of the year. I'm going to start with fighter of the year. I mean, we put a poll on recently, a community post. So go on and vote on that, please, if you want. But I won't give my pick just yet, but when I talk about fighter of the year, I think it comes down to two people, really, doesn't it? It either comes down to Kamaru Usman. Oh, God, I got to do it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to do this for YouTube, but it's killing. There we go. Now put it back in. Sorry about that. Sometimes it does that in the most annoying places where you can't just quickly do that. Wasn't doing that for effect. It would just drive me crazy. I think there's an eyelash underneath it, as I said. Anyway, fighter of the year, I think it comes down to, well, one of three people. Certainly one. Rose Namajunas, Kamaru Usman, Charles Oliveira. One of those. I don't think it's Rose. She's incredible. She's out the equation. Kamaru Usman, who did he beat? He beat Gilbert Burns early. He beat Masvidal. And he beat Colby Covington. I mean, come on. I mean, that is three great wins, all title fights, three defenses, two knockouts, one submission. I mean, that's a pretty good year. Other person up, I would say, is Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira might just be the guy. And the reason I say that is because if you look at the journey of Charles Oliveira, a lot of people said he was a journeyman. A lot of people said that he would never be the champion. He wasn't good enough. He had no heart. That's what a lot of people used to say about Charles Oliveira. All that stuff is out the window now. It is eradicated. And he is the undisputed champion of the world. He beat Tony Ferguson. Who else? Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler, and then Dustin Poirier. I mean, whew, that's a pretty good year. And then he ends as champion, especially when he'd been knocked out, I think 8 times in his UFC run. So that's a good one. We've got a couple of questions here. Crazy HD vids. Bisping, did the threat of the takedown affect your striking in MMA fights? It always does. The threat of the takedown always does. Like, this was an embarrassing night at the office for me when I fought Tim Kennedy. I mean, what a little cock that man is. But he's not a particularly good striker, but he is a very strong wrestler. And he took me down. He just hugging me and lying on top of me, and he wouldn't do anything. So then when you're back on the feet, you're a little hesitant to throw because you're like, I know what he's doing. As soon as I throw a punch, they're going to shoot underneath. They're going to grab my legs. And then we're going to be back into this whole mess again. And that is the difference of mixed martial arts from boxing and striking and kickboxing, because there's so many different elements, but unfortunately, that is the world we're in. That is the sport that we're playing. And that's what we sign up for. But yeah, it definitely slows down. It makes you a little more apprehensive to throw strikes. Anyway, thank you for the question. Edward Moon, massive fan. Question, is there a chance you would do any Glory kickboxing content? Glory kickboxing content? I don't know about that. I mean, I like kickboxing. Used to be a kickboxer. But Glory kickboxing, they just messaged me the other day, actually. They're sending me a bunch of stuff out. So that's nice. Do you work for Glory Kickboxing? Is this a subliminal message? I'm very happy with the UFC, though. Thank you very much. Thematic says, if Tyron knocked you out in the UFC and went on in his career to get sparks called by Jake, how pissed off would you be? How pissed would you be to have to stomach that fight, math? Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. My bad. I thought it was your question. It was my reading. How pissed? I would be very pissed. If I got beat up Tyron Woodley and he just went and got knocked out against Jake Paul, wouldn't be good. Wouldn't be good, but it is what it is. John Diaz. Mike, you've talked before about pushing through barriers. Have you ever done it in the middle of a fight? Do you remember a moment when you thought you couldn't win, but then reversed your mentality in the cage? I mean, that is the story of a fight, and that's the story of training. That's what I talk about with the barriers. Like, there's a short on here when my son Callum was with me and he was going out to a wrestling tournament and I was taking him on some runs. Granted, when we were on those runs, I was making him sprint up and down. I was making him jump up and touch the branch of that tree, sprint up here, push 20 push-ups, and I was just running. So that's why on the video, he's exhausted. He can hardly stand. But as I'm running along and I'm only going slow, I'm like, son, keep up, keep up. He's like, I can't. I'm like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You are choosing right now to say no. I know for a fact that you can keep up with me, but because of the pain, that mentality, it's easy to say, I can't do it and slow down. Just like when you're in a fight and you're tired and someone's choking you out, it's easy to tap and just say, you know what, fuck it, it's not my day today. You know, but you got to fight through it. You got to fight through that pain barrier. You got to dig deep and go to the next level. And often there is an inability to do that, unless you have got a black belt's arms around your neck and you're going to go to sleep, which I have done. George St. Pierre. Some guy says, do you think that Khabib's promotion could be a threat to the UFC? No, I don't. Hold on, my other lens. I don't think he's going to be a threat to the UFC. I don't think any promotion is going to be a threat to the UFC. You know, I mean, Khabib has a lot of financial backing. He has some very powerful friends. He has a lot of money of his own, and he's obviously massively respected in the MMA community. But going out there and threatening the UFC, yeah, no, I don't see that happening. If anything, you know, he's got Kevin Lee, I think, and there's talk of maybe who's the other one that he's getting? Kevin Lee. Oh, and Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez. Apparently, that might be their first main event. Awesome. Love to see it. And I wish you all the best. And I think he'll find a lot of success, you know, simply because of his name attached to it. But the UFC is a massive powerhouse. It's worldwide. You know what I mean? It is by far and large the biggest, best fight promotion that ever existed on planet Earth. Even the boxing promotions, they don't come anywhere near to what the UFC has achieved. So a threat, never in a million years. Panboy Lando Soy Child, Dong Lover. There he is again. Panboy Sandoy Lloyd Child, Dong Lover. How are you, mate? Hope you well. Hope you well. Brendan Sharp says the Chael altercation was due to Sonnen defending his wife from a weirdo. Is Sharp a doofus? Well, I don't know if that is true, but if Sharp's saying that, is he saying that because he's got information on that or speculation? You know, because I would think the same thing. Chael is a leveled guy. Chael has his shit together, you know, and I've known Chael for a little bit. You know, we work together at ESPN here and there. Yeah, he's a switched on guy. He's a professional. He has his shit together. You know, he's not the type of guy that's going to be brawling in the streets or in a hotel. I don't think I've ever seen him drunk. I don't know if I've ever seen Chael take a drink of alcohol. I don't. I'm sure he does have a glass of wine here or there or whatever, but he's not a drinker. You know, and the reason I say that is typically when something like this happens, when you're rolling around the streets and you're brawling with people, it's typically because there's alcohol involved. So I don't think that's the case with Chael. And I actually said, if Chael's doing that, you know, his wife's a pretty lady. Maybe there was an inappropriate comment made towards his wife. One thing says, you know, you say something, all of a sudden you're rolling around on the floor and you're kicking five dudes' ass. So well done, Chael. Good for you, buddy. But we don't know the facts. And until we know the facts, and where was Brendan Sharp a doofus? No, Brendan's a nice guy. Mate, you've talked before about pushing through pain barriers. I have, and I spoke about that already. Do you think that a guy would tattoo I love Jake Paul for a payday is above eating an intentional KO for money? That landing looking very suspect. Listen, what's your name? I-L. I-L? No, L. L for fucking loser. No offense. Stop saying the fight was fixed. The fight was not fixed. Tyron got knocked out. Like today, I saw this thing where he does that with his glove on Instagram. People say, oh, this is the moment where the fix was in. There it is. There's him signaling to Tyron. Shut up. Shut up. Okay? That was a knockout blow. Tyrone was clearly knocked out. It landed beautifully. The reaction was perfect. And listen, if someone's going to get a tattoo on their finger for money, essentially, for the opportunity, then yeah, of course, I see your point, what you're saying. There is a possibility for that. But come on, stop it. Stop it. People aren't throwing fights. Not in my experience anyway. He got knocked out. Deal with it. Deal with it. What is the disconnect between you and Rampage? I remember you guys used to train with each other in the past. Yeah, we did. But we had a toxic manager. And that's you know, I don't want to go into personal details. We had a toxic manager, and that's what came between us. And that manager ripped me off and sued me, and ultimately that got thrown out of court just recently, and he owes me a ton of money, and he ripped Rampage off as well. Boom. Anyway, Eric Studio of High Quality Video. Is it Eric though? Is it high quality? I mean, I'll be the judge of that. Hey, Michael, big fan. You helped me get into UFC big time, so thank you for that. No problem. I'm going to UFC 217 January. Is there any fights on that card that stand out to you besides the main event? I don't know what the card is off the top of my head. Obviously, you got Figueiredo and Moreno, 3. That'll be a good one. Main event's going to be nuts. That's going to be insane. There's Joe Long. Sorry, Joe. Hold on. Joe, I'm on a live stream on YouTube and you can be heard. So I'll call you back in a minute. All right, mate. Take it easy. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Important call that I forgot was coming. So I had to pick up. I don't know. They're talking about doing Nate Diaz. Well, hold on. UFC aren't talking about doing Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier are talking about maybe fighting on that card in January. That would be of interest to me in a massive way. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? I mean, a fair play if they do that. Nate Diaz said he wants to do it. Poirier said he wants to do it. You know, I'm not sure if the UFC want to do it. If I was them and Nate Diaz is on his last fight of his contract, I say it all the time, Conor McGregor would be the matchup. But of course, Conor is, he's out of action right now. He's injured. What was the famous favorite Christmas gift given to me, given or received, that I gave, that you gave or received? Best gift that I ever gave. Best gift. It's my shining personality. Week in, week out, day in, day out. Best gift I ever gave. I don't know. I'll give him some good gifts, I think. Best gift I ever got. Again, I don't know. Sorry about that, mate. Elijah Peters, what do you think the future holds for Francis if he loses the title and his contract's over? Well, if he loses the title, if he loses that fight, Francis, I just saw a video on YouTube today. Francis Ngannou apparently saying that he's going to fight out his contract. And Dana White said, from what I saw at this press conference, he said, yeah, well, if he wants to do his own thing, he can do his own thing. Of course, you know, we're not prisoners. It would be a shame. I'd like to see Francis stay in the UFC. I enjoy watching him fight. He's unbelievable. But if they can't come to a deal, then they can't come to a deal. Do you know what I mean? It's simple as that. And if his contract's up and they can't come to a deal, then they can't come to a deal. And that's that. It'd be a shame. How do you think a fight with Yair Rodriguez versus Henry Cejudo or Cejudo versus Khabib? I mean, come on. Cejudo's good. He's proven that time and time again. You know, I don't need to tell you his resume. He's really good. But there's weight classes for a reason. I think he would struggle against Khabib. He'd struggle against Yair Rodriguez as well, I think. Jonah Diamond, love the king of cringe though, Henry Cejudo. You know, he can be, he's definitely fucking cringe, isn't he? My God. So sometimes stop it. I'm a partner in a company called Block Asset, and they were going to do an NFT. We still might be doing it, so my apologies. And I saw a bit of the video because they had a Zoom call, and it's just a Zoom for business meetings. And Henry's on there, and he's like, "Oh, hold on 1 minute," and he gets his crown out, and he puts his crown out, and he's sitting there doing the Zoom call with his fucking crown on. It's like, come on, mate, we're just doing a fucking Zoom call for business meetings. I get it. If you're in the media and you want to continue with the king of cringe stuff, great. But why are you wearing the crown on a Zoom? Anyway, Mikey B, how did you not use the Jamaican accent after Derek Lewis said he was going to Jamaica in the post-fight interview? Right about now. Yeah, it's not really the time or the place, you know. That's a thing that we got going from the Believe in Me podcast right about now. And people love it. They'll say right about now. But then people started saying that it's racist, saying you can't do a Jamaican accent. I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Well, that's news to me. But it's the last thing I want to do is have that on my shoulders. So I stopped doing it. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. I'm not going to do it on the UFC. That's for sure. Liam Daly, my big fan. Who wins 2022? 265. Tom Aspinall versus Peter File. Peter File. Big fan. Who wins 20? What do you mean? Who wins 2022? Who wins 20? What the fuck? Sorry, Liam Daly. Stupid question, Liam Daly. Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. Who you got, Mike? Ooh, I'm gonna say Amir Khan. People are underestimating him recently, but he's good. He's still got it, still very, very fast. I think it's inevitable that Cyril Gain and Tom Aspinall will meet in 22 or 23. Both so fast, so well rounded in the new generation. Who wins? Well, hard to say. It's a tough fight, but if you follow the sport, you know who Tom Aspinall is. You certainly know who Cyril Gain is. And they're kind of the future of the heavyweight division, I think. I think I probably am leaning towards Garn in that fight with Ngannou, but you never know. You know, Ngannou has the equalizer. He can knock people out in one shot. But Tom Aspinall is there. He can move. You know, he can move. He can hit. He's fast. He's got great jiu-jitsu. He's got a great future ahead of him. I don't know how well he can take a shot, though. I'm not saying he can't take a shot. He's just been so dominant. We haven't seen that yet. But still, good luck, Tom. Good luck, Tom. Mike, do you keep in touch with any MMA fighters who were around when you started? Any good stories from the cage rage days? I mean, yeah, there's tons of stories. Tons of stories. I mean, I keep in touch with some of them, you know, some of the old guys, you know, on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. You stay in touch, you give them a little like, a little comment here, sometimes a thumb up or the crying emoji for laughing. You know, I'm not saying we write fucking love letters to each other. Ross Poynton, remember him from The Ultimate Fighter 3? If anybody saw that show. Ross was a character on The Ultimate Fighter. We had a lot of fun filming that. But before we were in the UFC, we both used to fight on Cage Warriors. And I remember one day Ross was fighting, I was fighting, and we drove down for the weigh-ins, and Ross Poynton shows up, and he's got like a black eye, and he's got a bruised thing, and he's got a little bit of blood on his lip. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on, Ross? You're not fighting yet? And he got in a fight on his way to the arena for the fight. He said, yeah, we stopped at a traffic light. Something happened. Two guys jumped out with bats. So, you know, it all kind of kicked off. And he had a full-on fight, and then he fought on Cage Warriors straight away. Definitely a bit of a character was Ross. Good lad. Shouts out, Ross. Hope you well, mate. Merry Christmas if you see this. Matt H.A. Mike, do you think we will see a three-weight world champion? If so, which three divisions? Fly, bantam, and featherweight is what he thinks. That's from Matt H. I don't know. Three-weight division champ. Oof, that's a tall order. Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. Is it next? What do I think? Why not? Jake Paul likes to fight people past their sell-by date. Anderson Silva is past his sell-by date, but Anderson Silva is still beating people in style. Look what he just did to bloody Tito Ortiz. One-shot knockout. Unbelievable. Beautiful work. Prior to that, he beat, what's his face? The boxer. I forget. Something junior, something, whatever, who cares? But still, he's fast, he's still got it, but he's not in his prime. That would fit the narrative that Jake Paul likes, you know, but Jake Paul isn't calling him out. Listen, Jake, I'm not here to hate on Jake. Fair play to him. Fair play to him. He's making money, lots of it, and he's bringing on a lot of new fans to the sport of boxing, you know. As I said, that fight in Cleveland against Tyron Woodley, I was there. The whole demographic, all the people there were very young. A lot of those people was probably the first ever boxing fight that they've ever been to. Do you know what I mean? So he's doing great things in that regard. I just want to see him fight someone in his prime, someone that's not washed up, someone that's not a has-been, someone that was, you know, that's got it. You know, do you think KC can beat John Jones? KC, who's KC? John N. KC can beat John Jones. I don't know who KC is. Drew Down, 23. Might be a fan of yours. Much love from the Bay Area. Why do they always say the Bay Area? Why don't you say where you're from? And I know the San Francisco Bay Area. You mean around up there? But I was watching the news yesterday morning. They were doing a feature on how busy LAX is at this time of the year and stuff. And they were stopping people randomly. Say, well, where are you going? Oh, we're flying to the Bay Area. Well, that could mean San Francisco. That could mean San Jose. That could mean Oakland. I think there's many areas. Why are you going to say the Bay Area? Because you think you're so cool. Maybe I'm missing something. I know you say the Bay Area. Can you be more specific? Can you just say the airport? Anywhere else you'd say LAX. I'm flying to New York. I'm flying to here. They say the Bay Area. Or maybe I'm missing something. I don't know, but it always kind of gets on my nerves. Joss H. Merry Christmas from Preston. What's up, Preston in the house? Ever go to Tokyo Joe's? Many times. Many times. Used to go to Tokyo Joe's all the time back in the day. And thank you for your kind comments. Yeah, Preston used to have many a good night out. Ash is a bell end, Mikey. Let him know, please. Ash. What a bell end you are. What a bell end. All right, let's have some proper questions. Mike, who wins at 170? Your buddy Darren Till or Drew Peacock? Don't know Drew Peacock, mate. Don't know him. Sorry about that. A fight I would have loved to see in your prime is you versus Strickland. Well, I used to spar Strickland all the time. I say all the time. For a few years when I was still competitive out here. Yeah, I used to spar Strickland quite a lot. Of course, he's getting better now. He's doing great things. And I like watching Sean Strickland. If you don't know him, guy's a psycho, says what's on his mind. It's very controversial a lot of the time, and I don't always agree with it. But hey, fair play. You know where you stand. And yeah, he's definitely a bit of a psychopath. That's for sure. But that's okay. I want to watch him fight in a cage, almost naked, with 4-ounce gloves on. He's trying to knock somebody out. He's trying to beat them into unconsciousness. He's trying to beat them so bad that they submit, trying to choke them out. So I don't care if you're a little bit of a psycho when you're in there. You know what I mean? Because that's what we're looking for. I don't necessarily want, people that grandma's going to be very thrilled to meet. Do you know what I mean? He's fighting almost naked in a cage. He might be a little bit off kilter, a little off center. Most people are. Man United or Man City, who wins? Man U, buddy. Man U. United, I mean. I feel blessed he got roasted by the GOAT, but much love from San Jose, Drew Down. There we go, San Jose. Didn't know. I didn't think you would know about it. Well, I know San Jose, don't I? Because that's where Luke Rockhold's from. San Jose in the Bay Area. You're so cool when you say that, guys. Fight of the year. What do we think fight of the year was? I think we're putting a community post out on that as well. I'm going to do a video for that. I think early contenders or obvious contenders, I say. I think fight of the year, Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje. That definitely springs to mind. And then I think a week or 2 weeks later, we had another one, which was Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez. That's definitely a contender as well. Any other contenders, let me know. Put it in the community post, and I'm going to give you a video. We're going to give you the results, what you voted on. Can you just say Merry Christmas, Bradley? You're old and you're fat. Will make for a great Christmas present for me. Listen, Bradley, please put the mince pies down. Step away from the buffet, right? You're old and you're fat. Deal with it. Elijah Peters, thoughts on Cowboy versus Paddy the Baddy. Cowboy told Chael he wants that fight. Cowboy will want that fight. That's why people love Cowboy Cerrone. Donald Cowboy Cerrone is the real deal. He's a real fighter. He's been around forever. He's had a tremendous career. And of course, he wants to go out there and challenge himself against Paddy the Baddy because he's the new guy on the block. He's got a lot of hype. And Cowboy will fancy his chances. Cowboy's got the experience. Cowboy's got great striking. He's got great grappling. He competed the other day. He's a very, very good grappler, as is Paddy the Baddy. So they might end up grappling it out. Donald's past his sell-by date, though. And I don't say that in a nasty way. Donald Cerrone's been around forever. He's had so many fights. And lately he's losing a lot of fights, So I'm not sure. But it might be a good idea to match him and Paddy up because it would be good for Paddy as the rising star to try and, beat the man, take on some of his stardom. There will be a lot of people watch that fight. The more I talk about it, the more it sounds like a pretty good matchup, actually. I love you, Biscuit. Do you think Fedor is the greatest of all time? No, I don't think Fedor is the greatest of all time. I think Fedor Emelianenko was a fantastic fighter. I think he had a tremendous run. He was doing great out in Japan. A lot of people in Japan were taking steroids. A lot of people, most people, almost every people, almost all the peoples in Pride were taking a lot of steroids. And then they came over to the UFC where you can't take steroids. And Fedor didn't come to the UFC, but some people did. And they didn't pan out. They didn't do as well. Look at Vanderlei Silva. Look at Shogun Rua. Don't get me wrong. Shogun became champion, of course, eventually. But he lost his first fight to Forrest Griffin. Fedor Emelianenko didn't do too well in Strikeforce. Mirko Cro Cop didn't really pan out to the level of greatness that people expected. I don't think he's the greatest of all time. I think the greatest of all time, and we're going to do a video on this, but it's John Jones. Probably. All right, you got the picograms. You got the steroid situation that kind of blurs the lines a little bit. But if you just forget about that for a minute, because that definitely changes things. But if you take that out and you just look at records, it's Jones. That's a fact. Hope you're doing well, Mike. This is from DC's Beamer. Who do you think wins between Ngannou and Gane? Early reports, I say Gane. Gone, should I say? Yeah, gone. What's your Greg's order? Which 3 bantamweights would you choose to take out? Francis. What's my Greg's order? Sausage roll, mate. Sausage roll. When I went back to England, I was having a lot of sausage rolls, a lot of pork pies, a lot of curries, a lot of fish and chips. Almost everything I ate was beige or an iteration of that color. Bold and Bankrupt says, tougher, Brits or Russians? I mean, you ask the Russians, they'll say the Russians. You ask the Brits, they'll say the Brits. You know, what can I tell you? But I'm going to say the Brits. Crazy HD vids, Marvin Vettori, the toughest matchup stylistically for Hamzat. Marvin's big and strong, has incredible chin, great cardio, great hands. Yeah, no, Marvin Vettori is, you know, if it wasn't for Israel Adesanya right now, he'd be the champ. Definitely. He's the next best guy at 185, in my opinion. He's doing tremendous things. I'm a friend of Marvin's. I think he's tremendous. That fight he had against Paulo Costa was sensational. I called that fight. I was right there. He won that fight fair and square, but Paulo Costa had a lot of success. And some of the shots that Marvin ate, some of those kicks and the punches and the power that Costa has, Marvin took every single fucking one of them, never took a backward step and fired right back every single time. It was a really inspiring performance. And I was already a fan, but after that, I was like, wow, this guy's incredible, man. Oh dear, there we go. Right, Ant Evans, I'm a midget. Do you think I could go to Alton Towers or would I be bored? I mean, the problem is, Ant, I mean, you sound like you shouldn't say midget, by the way. You sound very small with the name Ant. If you went to Alton Towers, yeah, you wouldn't get on a lot of rides, would you? You'd be bored. You wouldn't get on. Not sure where you want me to go with that, but Raquel Pearson says, hey, Mike, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Oh, well, good for you, Raquel. Well done. Shout out to all the mothers out there. In Boise, Idaho, your perseverance is inspiring. Thank you. What's it like to have such a wide fan base and knowing you inspire people from all types of backgrounds? Well, Raquel Pearson, thank you very much for your question. I don't know that. I don't. I mean, people say things like that to me, and it's very kind, and I really appreciate it. But I honestly don't know that I inspire people from all kinds of backgrounds and stuff like that. I do hear comments like that here and there on occasion, and it's beautiful, and I thank you, and I'm also so grateful for the kind words. You know, but you're doing a great job yourself, Raquel. You're staying at home, you're raising those kids. Like my wife, she's a stay-at-home mom, you know, and she does a great job. You know, and she provides a great home. It's a great atmosphere for us. It's very cozy. It's very homely. She's a great cook. She's raised 3 beautiful children. She's been a very supportive wife to me over the years. You know, that is a very, very important job, you know. And these days, you know, I get it with, you know, the workplace, they want to see more strong women out there. But being a strong woman at home is just as important, and they do a very, very good job. So, Raquel, thank you for the question, and shout out to all the stay-at-home moms out there providing a beautiful, homely atmosphere for all your family. Very important job. Do you believe CTE? This is from Todd Shaft. Do you believe CTE will become a big problem for retired fighters like it is with boxers and retired football players? I mean, listen, there's always that risk. You know, there's always that risk. I haven't got the stats in front of me. I don't know what they are, but you know, you see people struggle. You know, I watched a big thing recently. I watched a report on football players, soccer, as they say out here in America, soccer players, and they're talking about the trauma on the head and obviously CTE down the line, brain damage from just heading the ball. Right. And they were they're working on this program, this virtual reality program where you put the Oculus headset on and you're heading the balls in training. And the idea for that was rather than heading the balls in reality, you head the balls in virtual reality. So, and this program was so detailed and so perfect and so like real life. It was as good as heading a real ball. And the reason being is when you're heading the ball, it's going to have an effect on the brain, and studies show it can. If heading a ball in football or soccer can give you CTE, then of course getting fucking shin kicked by Mirko Cro Cop is going to do that. Getting knocked out by the Black Beast is going to do that. But we know this. We sign up. UFC do a great job. A lot of medical hoops you have to jump through. You have to get a brain scan every year. You got to get an MRI. You got to do all kinds of stuff. But combat sports are a risk. American football is very dangerous. The amount of hits that they take. Boxing is dangerous, and what we do is dangerous. But we know the risks when we go in. We sign up for it. And if you fail in your medicals, then you're out your window. So but it's a sad reality. But thank you for the question, Jimmy Page. I've always been a big fan of Cub Swanson with all the talent he has. Why would you say he's never been able to win the title in his prime? Should he have tried 135? I mean, Cub Swanson. He's my friend. He's my business partner in UFC Gym Costa Mesa, by the way. Shout out UFC Gym Costa Mesa. Shout out Cub Swanson. Did you see his fight Saturday night against Darren Elkins? Unbelievable. Vintage performance. He looked incredible. He looked fast. He looked explosive. And yeah, he had some tough losses, didn't he? At the key time of his career. He's definitely got all the potential to be a champion one day, though. Or had the potential. Still got the potential. Just needs the right fights, needs the opportunity, Jamie McGregor, I'm a kickboxer, been doing it for 6 years. Would you learn more striking styles or learn jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling, thinking about becoming an MMA fighter or competing in MMA? Also, learn one at a time or learn all three. Well, you can learn all three at once. When I started as an MMA fighter, I'd only ever done Japanese jiu-jitsu and I'd done kickboxing for a few years as well. But Japanese jiu-jitsu, the form that I studied was very real and it was very gritty and it was very... for real life situations. And then we competed in it a lot. And we did wrestling, we did submission holds and striking and stuff, but it was never to the level that we do now in real MMA. And a lot of the stuff was nonsense. A lot of stuff in traditional martial arts doesn't cross over to the real world. That's why in the UFC, when the UFC was founded, the reason for the UFC was to find out which martial art was the best. Because back in the day, every martial art claims to be the best. Ours is the most effective style at fighting and the best way to defend yourself. And they would talk shit about other martial arts and all the rest of it. And you got a lot of charlatans. If you don't follow at McDojo Life on Instagram, do yourself a favor, follow that page because they highlight the charlatans, the bullshit artists, the fakes that are in the traditional martial art world on a daily basis. And some of the content they have is just hilarious. So you got to check that out at McDojo Life. But the UFC was founded on trying to find out which martial art was the best. And then what was discovered was that no martial art was the best. All martial arts have shortcomings. Even Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which obviously you had a boxer taking on an MMA, a Jiu-Jitsu guy, you had a karate guy against a wrestler and all the rest of it. What we found was that there were shortcomings in all of the styles. A Jiu-Jitsu guy needs to have some wrestling, otherwise he's not going to be able to get it to the ground. He's also going to need some striking because if he can't get it to the ground, then he's going to be screwed, so on and so forth. Round and round we go. So we started cross-training and doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And before you know it, mixed martial arts became a sport and an art in itself. A lot of people have started mixed martial arts now from the get-go. They walk into an MMA studio, a gym, dojo, whatever you want to call it, and they're doing everything right from the start, whereas back in the day, you would be a specialist and then you would round out your skill set. But for me, I remember 4th of January 2004, that's when I started my official training as a mixed martial artist. I had my first pro fight 3 months later. I'd had a lot of kickboxing, I had a lot of real fight experience, and I had a lot of amateur martial art experience as a kid, done grappling tournaments, jiu-jitsu tournaments and things like that. Had a lot of success. But as I say, a lot of that stuff wasn't necessarily crossed over to using MMA. But my brain was formatted, so I could pick things up much quicker than somebody that hadn't done it. But and I was doing, like, even now, if you're training for a fight, you do all three at once. You'll have a wrestling session, you'll have a boxing session, you'll have a kickboxing session one day, then you'll have a sparring session. So you're doing all three at once. So if you want to do 2 at once, 3 at once, knock yourself out, mate. And good luck with the journey. Kazal says, missed your last talking tour, man. Will you ever do it again in the UK? Yes, my friend. So Tales from the Octagon is to what he's referring to, which I did a one-man show. I did a tour of the UK in October. We only did 4 dates. That was enough for that one. Huge turnout, 3,500 people in Manchester. Daunting experience energizing experience. Loved every minute of it. It was so good to go out there and just feel the energy and the atmosphere of the crowds, and everybody loved it. And everybody loved it so much that we're doing it again next year. October, I'll be doing 17 dates, I believe, all around mainland Europe, Oslo, Norway, Sweden, Copenhagen, a few places, Amsterdam, and then a lot more dates in the UK as well. There's Ireland, Northern Ireland. We got Leeds, Manchester, Belfast. I don't know. We're going all over the place. Then the month after, I'm going down to Australia, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, New Zealand. So yeah. myticket.co.uk if you're in the UK, or fucking search Tales from the Octagon if you're not in the UK, because I don't know where you get your tickets from. There's too many people, too many websites to know. But yeah, never thought I'd be doing anything like that. And it was crazy, and I really enjoyed it, but I was shitting my pants. I was shitting my pants for the first time I did it. I really was. Let me see. What else do we have? The hard-hitting questions. How many third graders do you think you could fight at once? I mean, it'd be a lot. It would be a lot. Someone says, how many kids could I fight at once? I mean, I reckon I could batter a lot of kids. Just being honest. Hey, Mike, I've gone through a lot of depression recently. I just want to thank you for inspiring me to get healthy and take up a combat sport. Well, Mr. Drunken Ghost, good luck with everything. You know, we're seeing mental health is very prevalent these days. It's at the forefront of a lot of things. And I think that's great to see, you know, because the reality is, I mean, they all, you know, a lot of people go through things. A lot of people are suffering with a lot of anxiety and stuff. And to see that other people are going through that, it helps them to know that they're not alone in this bubble. But just, yeah, I'd say, my friend, if you go out there and start doing any kind of sport, combat sport's great. Any kind of sport, any kind of exercise, it's going to release endorphins. You're going to feel better for yourself. You know, you want to eat healthy. You know, I mean, you are a reflection of your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? If your lifestyle is sedentary, if you're sitting around a lot, if you're not moving much, if you're not releasing any kind of endorphins, if you're sitting around, your diet is terrible, you're overweight, you know, and you're not making the most out of life, then that's how you're going to feel. Do you know what I mean? Get out there. It's conceive, believe, achieve all fucking day long. But you got to get out there. You got to get active. You got to take the bull by the horns. You're responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your own life. A lot of people have excuses why they can't do certain things. And they say, oh, you know, I feel sorry for myself. Hey, listen, I get it. Maybe you do have a reason to feel sorry for yourself. Maybe you were dealt a bad hand in life, you know, but no one's going to fix it other than you. Yes, it is not your fault that perhaps you're in whatever situation it may be, but it sure as hell is your responsibility to try and fix these things and turn it around, because no one else is going to do it for you. You know, I don't know what I'm talking about. Not coming to Perth, Mikey B. You know what? I want to go to Perth. One of my best mates in the entire world, Jacko, DJ Jacko and Mikey B. We used to go back to back all the time in the DJ days. He lives in Perth now. And my wife's best friend, Tina, she lives in Perth. So Perth would be awesome. But the problem is Perth is a long way away, isn't it? It's way over the other side of the country. I don't know. You never know. We'll see. Let's riot. Perth, we're doing it. Let's go. Jason Thompson, love your episodes of Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee. Great chemistry. We'd love to think that you two would work together in the future. I think Bobby would be interested. Shout out Bold and Bankrupt too. UK legends. Bobby Lee from the Tiger Belly podcast. He's a great actor. He's a great comedian. He's hilarious, man. Him and his wife, they do a podcast called Tiger Belly. I was on there a couple of times with my wife as well. I would love to do it again. And I would love to do some kind of content with him. I don't know what that would be. Reach out. Tell him I want to talk. But he's a bit too big time for me these days, isn't he? Hold on. I've lost you guys. There we go. I don't know if he wants to lower his levels to working with little old DJ Mikey B. You know what I mean? Maybe not. Hey, Beck. Come here. You want to come say hi to the people on the live? Pull up a chair. Hold on. We'll sit on my knee. There we go. We've got questions for you. Hold on. Let's lift this up here. There we go. Well, we can't get a good angle, babe. That's what you look like, unfortunately. Yo, Mike, can I get a, what is it? No onions, no pickles. Add bacon and large fries and a Diet Coke. You can, mate.
What's that about?
Greg's, I think. Thanks, Tyler. What else we got here? How effective do you think blocking punches blocking punches wing style is. I don't know what you mean, wing style. Pada, like this. You mean like a Shuto Uke, as they call it? See, I got the martial arts info. You think I don't, but the Shuto Uke. Pada. Yes, you can block those all day. They work. They do. You can block punches. They do work. Mexican martial arts, look into it. Even with one eye. Will do, buddy. How effective do you think blocking punches with your face is? I mean, you can block punches with your face. Might not be able to take them. All right, let's have a look. We got any questions? Seeing as my wife's here, let's have a look. What's your advice for a big country body style? I work my ass off, but can't shake this belly. Not as big as Roy now. You know, look at your diet, mate. It's probably your diet. You know, I mean, a lot of carbs. I mean, how much carbs are you eating? Are you drinking a lot of beer? You know, that's what it all boils down to at the end of the day. You can't out-exercise a bad diet.
Can I say, though, sometimes genetics is just a factor that people need to just come to terms with.
Well, no, you're right. Maybe it is. They're big boned.
Big bones. That's my issue.
Are you big boned? Yeah. Maybe you are just big boned, but you know, you gotta love yourself.
I would love you if you had a big fat belly.
Do I not have a big fat belly?
No.
No.
But I would love you if you did.
I don't know if you would.
FYI.
She's a liar.
You meant to say I'd love you.
Oh, I'd love you too if you had a big fat belly. It's a lie. Anyway, but yeah, good luck, mate. Good luck on your journey. But yeah, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. You really can't. And you know what? To be honest, I think we're formatted to eating too much food. We really are. You got to just retrain the brain. Like for the moment, I mean, what have I had to eat today so far? What did I have?
I made you a grilled cheese.
Oh, I had a grilled cheese sandwich. I thought it was going to be something really healthy.
Protein shake.
I had a protein shake, but that's all I've had. One sandwich, and I didn't have it till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Do you know what I just ate?
What did you just have?
Pizza.
You had a pizza?
No, I didn't have a pizza.
Oh my
I had
God.
some pizza.
And then what about your burrito?
I ate that yesterday.
We're
Yours is still there.
The thing is, I was going to start my diet. I was going to start this week because I put a few pounds on, you know. But it's Christmas. Come January. Well, no, not come January. Come after Christmas. I'm starting hard, heavy.
But you just wait till January.
I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. I say that every year.
Someone says, "What's your favorite nightclub?"
Favorite nightclub? I don't know. Favorite nightclub? Don't know.
Good answer, babe.
It's a good answer. Will you be going to watch your old mate Daz Morris's The Main Event Thai show next year? I hope you do. It would be great to meet you. You know what? Daz Morris is a good friend, very, very good friend of mine. He was my Muay Thai coach, became one of my best friends. He's got a great show called The Main Event. If you like Thai boxing, you want to watch the best people in the world, and you want a lovely production, you got to check it out, The Main Event. And hopefully I will be there. I mean, I would love to go check it out. Any chance the UFC will set foot in Montreal again? I don't know. I would say definitely. I dare say they will, but it's the pandemic, innit? You know what I mean? Bisping, how much would you love to see Oliveira and Dariush's BJJ matching up, assuming Dariush beats Makhachev? I'm dying to see, to be honest, Makhachev taking on Oliveira. That's what I want to see. Oliveira's got the best jiu-jitsu, or he's got the most submissions in the history of the UFC. Imagine him and Makhachev going at it. As a fan, I want to see that. What else? Hey, Mike, any questions for my wife?
Well, some might be coming up under there.
Yeah, hold on. Am I the only one that had the Kamaru Colby fight 3-2 for Colby? I think you might be, mate, because I had it 3-2 for Kamaru. If you and Chael had a roast battle, who would win? Well, it depends. Is it the Chael from last weekend walking out in handcuffs with his shirt over his head? Because that Chael, I reckon, is a little preoccupied in his mental space.
You would win that.
I'd win it.
You're very quick.
I would win. I would win. You're lucky to have Becky because I was an athlete 2 years ago and married my beautiful wife and I have a big fat belly and she still loves me. Well, there we go. Favorite restaurant in Orange County. Also, get Hanato back on the pod. I will get Hanato Laranja back on. He's awesome. Love that guy. He's very, very funny. I'll reach out. I just feel bad asking them to co-host it all the time. You know what I mean? Because everyone has lives. Favorite restaurant in Orange County, Beck?
Okay. Well, there's a few. We like Tempo.
Which is Tempo.
Right down the street. It's like a modern Mexican place.
Mexican fusion place. I mean, you can't go wrong with Mastro's as well. Water Grill's good.
Javier's not really
No,
these
Javier's.
days.
No. No, favorite restaurant. Oh my God, we're just picking out all the big ones. You know what I mean?
No.
It's a bit lame. Oh, there's just a little independent place down on the corner. Not many people know about it. No, there's not.
They
There
don't
just
get any
isn't.
of those around here.
Rebecca was always beautiful, but she must feel like she's hit the lotto now that you're a refined executive. You two are dynamite. Do you feel like you hit the lotto?
I felt like I hit the lotto when you were unemployed.
No, come on, babe. That's not banter. No one wants to hear that. They're
Darling,
gonna,
I don't
they're
do
gonna
banter.
throw up into the computer.
Okay, I hate your guts.
Well, don't
I
say that
hate
either.
you.
Find
Always hated
find the
you.
happy medium. What's the inside story? I don't know what the inside story is of what Chael Sonnen did. A lot of people asking about that. Wife, sorry, I don't know your name. Have you ever been to New Hampshire? That's my home state. And just curious, you ever been to
New Hampshire. I have not been to New Hampshire.
Is that New Hampshire in America? No, never been.
No, I'd
Never
like
been.
to.
All right. Well, we're going to get going in a minute. Greeting from Western Sydney, Mike. It's going to be sweltering Christmas here. It is.
Mhm.
Australia's very hot at this time of year. Well, good luck.
Correct.
That Indian dude, shout out to you. Mrs. Bisbee, how does it feel to watch your spouse in a UFC fight? How did it feel?
Horrendous, and I'm so glad it's over.
You're talking to
I'm sorry, I don't want to talk too loud. No, it was horrible. I hated it. I hated every second of it. It's like a ball of tension.
because we see some wives, they go there and they love it. They like being in the moment. They kind of like being the fighter's wife and they're enjoying it and whatnot. You
I
hated it, didn't you?
every second.
Couldn't wait for the fight to be over. Didn't want
Yes.
anyone to speak to her all night. Yeah, she
No.
absolutely hated it.
I hated it. Hated it. Hated it.
Khabib versus Oliveira. Khabib, don't say anything. Don't tell anyone. Question for Rebecca. You got any tips for getting to an Aussie girl's heart besides being a handsome and charming devil like Michael?
You got to be funny, and
Gotta
you
be
got to be
funny.
confident, and you got to be semi-handsome.
You got to be bloody good at throwing a shrimp on the barbie. All right, mate. Right, babe. Right, babe. Oh, bloody hell,
That
dog.
is awful.
It's awful. I
Don't.
know.
It's
I can't
so
do an
bad.
Australian accent, and that's the joke.
I know.
All right, guys. Well, guys, ladies, gentlemen, girls, boys, and girls, Raquel, single moms out there. Oh,
So what?
she wasn't single. She was a stay-at-home wife. Sorry, Raquel. Beck, can you explain to Mike that people want Jesse on Fire to co-host BYM? Also, if you're there,
Against your will.
blink twice. Are you there against my will, babe?
Oh.
Blink twice. Blink twice.
Jesse on Fire. Do it. BYM. I don't know who he is, but still do it.
Stop hitting me in the back.
Sorry.
Can you tell my mom Maria happy birthday? People don't like it when I do the cameos type stuff, but Maria, happy birthday, Maria. Hope you well. Have a great day. Enjoy Christmas coming up. And that's it. All right, guys. We've been going for 50 minutes almost, and my leg's going numb.
Thanks.
You have only been here for 5, but the blood supply to my leg is getting cut off. What are you weighing right now? My God, Rebecca. It is rude. I'm only joking. It's what we always do. All right, guys. Let's have a look down here in the chat. See what else we got here. How do we get to the new ones?
I bet there's been so many.
Rebecca, do you think you could beat up the Platinum Princess? That's Mike.
Who's the Platinum Princess?
Hey, Michael, is that your sister?
Thank you.
Ava Maria Bisping's career. Oh, there we go. Your wife is in my DMs.
Hilarious.
Your wife is in my DMs. Hilarious. All right. We tell my mom. All right, guys, listen. I was just sitting here. I had an hour to spare. I thought I'd come on and talk some MMA stuff and answer some of your questions. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate the support on the channel. We're getting bigger and bigger by the day, guys. We're getting bigger and bigger by the day. Thank you very much. And until the next one, take care. Be well. All the best. Bon voyage.